What if I told you that every rejection you've ever faced was actually a gift wrapped in disappointment? What if the very thing that crushed your spirit was designed to elevate your soul? Today, we're going to shatter everything you thought you knew about rejection and rebuild it into your greatest weapon for success. Picture this. You walk into a room full of opportunities, and instead of fearing the word no, you actually welcome it. You understand something that 99% of people never realize: that rejection isn't your enemy. It's your personal trainer for greatness. The ancient Stoics knew this secret, and today, you're going to master it. But first, let me ask you something that might sting a little. How many dreams have you abandoned because someone said you weren't good enough? How many times have you dimmed your light because others couldn't see your brilliance? If that hit close to home, then this message was crafted specifically for you. The truth is, rejection is not a verdict on your worth. It's a redirection towards your destiny. And by the end of this journey together, you'll never look at a no the same way again. Here's what nobody tells you about rejection. It's not personal, even when it feels deeply personal. When someone rejects you, they're not rejecting your essence. They're making a decision based on their own limitations, fears, and current circumstances. Understanding this shifts everything. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of the pain from rejection doesn't come from the rejection itself. It comes from the stories we tell ourselves about what it means. We turn a simple no into evidence that we're not worthy, not talented, not lovable. But what if we flip that script entirely? Think about the last time you felt truly rejected. Now imagine viewing that moment not as a judgment against you, but as the universe clearing a path towards something infinitely better. This isn't just positive thinking. This is strategic thinking. Every master of success has learned to reframe rejection as information, not condemnation. The Stoics discovered something revolutionary about human psychology. We cannot control what happens to us, but we have absolute control over how we respond. This isn't just philosophy. It's the blueprint for emotional invincibility. When rejection strikes, your first instinct might be to defend, explain, or convince. These reactions all stem from the same place: the belief that someone else's opinion determines your reality. But here's the game changer. Their opinion is just data, not truth. You get to decide what that data means for your life. Emotional immunity doesn't mean you don't feel the sting. It means you don't let the sting become a poison that spreads through your entire life. You feel it, acknowledge it, and then make a conscious choice about what happens next. This choice is where your power lives. Here's where things get interesting. The moment you become truly indifferent to someone's rejection, something magical happens. You become magnetic. Think about the people you're most drawn to. Are they the ones desperately seeking approval, or the ones who seem completely content with themselves regardless of others' opinions? This isn't about becoming cold or uncaring. It's about developing what I call strategic detachment. You care deeply about your goals, your growth, and your contribution to the world, but you hold loosely to any individual person's opinion of you. This paradox, caring deeply while remaining detached, is the secret weapon of every truly confident person. When someone ignores you or rejects you, instead of chasing their attention, you redirect that energy into becoming someone so compelling that attention naturally flows to you. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth when your worth is evident in everything you do. Most people respond to rejection emotionally. They get angry, sad, or defensive. But what if you responded strategically instead? What if every rejection became an opportunity to demonstrate your character resilience, and vision. When faced with rejection, ask yourself, how can I use this as fuel? Maybe someone doubted your abilities. Instead of arguing, let your results do the talking. Maybe someone overlooked you for an opportunity. Instead of complaining, create your own opportunity. Maybe someone said your dreams were unrealistic. Instead of shrinking those dreams, expand them until they become undeniable. This strategic approach transforms you from a victim of circumstances into the architect of your own success. You stop waiting for permission and start creating your own validation through action, achievement, and unwavering commitment to your vision. One of the most liberating realizations you can have is this: not everyone deserves access to your energy, your time, or your attention. When someone consistently shows you through their actions that they don't value what you bring, believe them and act accordingly. This doesn't mean becoming bitter or vindictive. It means becoming discerning. You have a finite amount of emotional energy each day. Investing it in people who don't appreciate it isn't just wasteful, it's self-sabotage. Instead, pour that energy into relationships and opportunities that multiply your investment. Selective investment also means investing in yourself with the same intensity you once invested in trying to win over people who weren't ready to receive what you offered. When you become your own best investment, everything else falls into place naturally. Here's what separates those who crumble under rejection from those who use it as rocket fuel: consistency. One rejection doesn't define you, but how you consistently respond to rejection absolutely does. Every time you choose growth over bitterness, action over inaction, you're building what I call rejection resilience. Think of rejection resilience like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Eventually, rejection becomes less of a crushing blow and more of a gentle nudge in a better direction. You develop an almost supernatural ability to bounce back, learn, and pivot quickly. This consistency compounds over time. While others are still recovering from their first major rejection, you've already transformed yours into wisdom, strength, and opportunity. You become someone who actually seeks out situations where rejection is possible because you know that's where the greatest growth happens. When you handle rejection with grace and strength, something remarkable happens. You send a powerful signal to everyone watching. You communicate that your value isn't up for negotiation, that your self-worth isn't dependent on external validation, and that you're someone who turns obstacles into advantages. This kind of self-respect is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who demonstrate unshakable inner confidence. They want to understand your secret, to bottle whatever you have and use it themselves. Without saying a word, you become a teacher, a leader, and an example of what's possible when someone refuses to let rejection define them. Your response to rejection becomes your reputation. Handle it poorly, and you become known as someone who can't handle adversity. Handle it with wisdom and strength, and you become known as someone who turns every challenge into an opportunity. So how do you actually implement this transformation? How do you go from someone who fears rejection to someone who leverages it? It starts with a fundamental shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" start asking, "What is this preparing me for?" Every rejection is data. It tells you something about timing, fit, readiness, or direction. Sometimes it tells you that you need to improve your skills. Sometimes it tells you that you're in the wrong room trying to solve the wrong problem. Sometimes it tells you that you're ahead of your time and need to find or create your audience. The key is to extract the lesson without absorbing the poison. Take what serves you and leave the rest. This requires developing what psychologists call cognitive flexibility. the ability to reframe situations in ways that serve your growth rather than your ego. Perhaps the greatest gift rejection offers is the liberation of letting go. When you stop clinging to specific outcomes, specific people, or specific timelines, you open yourself up to possibilities you never could have imagined. You realize that your attachment to how things should go was actually limiting the amazing ways things could go. This letting go isn't resignation, it's expansion. You maintain your vision and your commitment while releasing your grip on exactly how that vision must unfold. This paradox, holding your dreams firmly while holding your plans lightly, is the mark of someone who truly understands the game of life. When you master this art, rejection becomes impossible because you're no longer attached to any single outcome. Every path becomes potentially valuable. Every detour becomes potentially destiny. And every no becomes potentially the best thing that could have happened. The journey from seeing rejection as your enemy to embracing it as your ally isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. Every person who has achieved something meaningful has walked this path. They've learned to dance with rejection, to find opportunity in opposition, and to transform their greatest setbacks into their greatest comebacks. Your relationship with rejection will determine the trajectory of your entire life. Will you let it diminish you, or will you let it develop you? Will you see it as evidence of your limitations, or as information about your next level of growth? The choice is yours, and that choice will echo through every area of your life for years to come. Choose wisely, choose courageously, and choose to see rejection not as your ending, but as your beginning. Ready to revolutionize your relationship with rejection? Share this message with someone who needs to hear it today. Comment below with your biggest takeaway. And don't forget to subscribe for more life-changing insights that will transform the way you see challenges, setbacks, and the path to your dreams. Your future self is counting on the decision you make right now.